Hello everyone, welcome back to Popoto, Pojok Poto Toronto. So I'm Belinda.
And I'm Adeline.
And we're your hostess for this episode. This episode, we have someone very special, and they are our Permika execs. We have the president, Hasna, and our vice president here, Arvin. So, Hasna and Arvin, introduce yourself. Hasna first, maybe.
Hi, my name is Hasna. I am the PERMIKATO president for the 2022-2023 term. I'm currently a student at University of Toronto St. George campus, double major in international relations and public policy, and a minor in writing and rhetoric. Yeah, nice to meet everyone.
Nice to have you here, Hasna. And Arvin.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Belinda, for the introduction. So my name is Arvin. I am a second year in the University of Toronto, Mississauga. I'm currently taking a biotechnology specialist. And for my role in Permika, I am the vice president external. And I'm get ready to discuss everything that's going to be discussed today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So, a little bit to get to know you. So we're all Indonesian students here, and we are all here in Toronto. So if I might ask, why do you choose Canada? Why do you choose Toronto to go to university?
Maybe. I thought Arvin has a lot to say about this because he makes a lot of content.
Yeah. Sorry, brain.
Okay. Why Toronto specifically? Honestly, it's because at first, I applied to universities abroad because I've always wanted to study abroad. I actually wanted to study in Germany, not Canada. But after graduation, Indonesia's high school diploma, karena aku dulu SMA negeri kan. So that wasn't accepted in Germany. So I need to take like another foundation year. And my mom's like, you know what, let's not risk it. So just apply to as many universities as you can around, Germany. No, not Germany. Sorry. The Netherlands, Canada, and the US. And so, yeah, I applied, got accepted to all all the universities applied to in Canada, except for McGill. McGill accepted me. They got.
It's their loss.
But then I'm here. I got accepted to U of T. I received my admission, I think, like in March, around 2021. Yeah. And my mom knows that there's like a big Indonesian community here in Ontario, so she's like, it's like the most convenient kind of situation because like you're gonna be far away from home, but it won't feel too far away from home because you have the community aspect of things. So yeah, that's why they sent me to study here. And also related to like the major itself, which I'm studying right now, international relations, the Department of Political Science, which housed the international relations program, is the number one in Canada in U of T. So that's why I choose Toronto, U of T specifically, and in Toronto.
Yeah, there is like a huge Indonesian community here, right? Like we're here. There's the Kajeri here, and yeah, McGill's lost for you.
Sorry,
Sorry, McGill. We have Hasna now. And yeah, Arvin, why do you choose to come to Canada?
So for me, I think Hasna came in with more of a direct. She knew. I feel like she knew what to expect here. Meanwhile, me, I was like half blind when I came here. But then overall it worked out at the end. So same as Hasna. I mean, ever since a young age, I wanted to go abroad. I've lived almost. So in my youth, I've lived in the U.S. before. I lived in China before. So I really already have the international mind and like the passion to study abroad. So in high school, I applied to Australia and Canada. And one of my goals of applying was also to hopefully get financial aid because studying abroad is expensive.
It is.
Yeah, it is expensive. It comes at a very steep cost. So I was just applying to scholarships and just applying to financial aid. And when I applied to U of T, I also got an offer not only just an offer, but I also got an offer for a scholarship, which is a 50% reduction of my tuition fees for 4 years. So that seemed like a pretty good deal, and then I just decided to take it because for me, I feel like taking the most financially benefiting option is the best because I have 3 other siblings, so my parents have to support them as well. So I chose U of T, and at first I was a little bit like starstruck on what to expect from here. But over time, I've learned to love the community. I've learned to love, and I've learned to discover that there's so many Indonesians here, and there are more to come actually.
Yeah.
And that's also one of the reasons why I joined Permika, because I really believe in that we can continue to nurture the culture of Indonesians in Toronto, and also help hopefully promote and bring more Indonesians here to the GTA.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful goal. Okay, so both of you decided you want to go abroad for studies. So how did it measure up? Like, how do you think Toronto is? Does it like fits your expectations of what studying abroad is supposed to be?
I think I can go first.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm in second year, so I can just divide my experience into two halves, which is my first year and second year so far. For the first year, I feel like I was more academically focused because I feel like I was still in the mindset of like, okay, this is U of T, like it's scary, you have to get good grades, like, and then like after the end of first years, I did get those grades, but then at the same time, like I sacrificed quite a lot of my social life and life outside university. When in reality, studying abroad is more than just studying, right? It's more about meeting people, making connections, joining clubs, joining different activities and events, and I feel like that was what was missing in my first year. So in the start of my second year, which is in September 2022. Like I set a goal to be more active in like organizations, which is why I joined Permika, and also to enjoy life outside university and have a more of a like work-life balance, you can say. So I feel like right now, like as of now, I feel like it's panning out the way I expected it to be, like back when I just like was about to move here, and yeah, it's pretty great. How about you, Hasna?
This is a tough question to answer today. Academically, because coming from like an Indonesian base, I guess like curriculum, bahasa Indonesia.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To Canada, I was just like going in blind, because I don't know what to expect. I've never written proper academic essays, like English academic essays. So I had to learn all of that stuff on my own, kind of like trial and error. And I realized that, every time I look at my friends who's like, who grew up here, who studies, pakai bahasa Inggris gitu kan. It's like they already had opportunities to fail, and I didn't have that many opportunities to fail and learn from my mistakes. So I had to just come in and like try to do as best as I can, and it was just so stressful for me. So academically, I was stressed, but I ended up getting decent grades, alhamdulillah. Jadi kayak it worked out eventually, like the academic side of things. Socially, honestly, I also joined Permika because of like, I know that there is like a big Indonesian community. That's what my mom said. So I try to discover, right? I'm like, is it true? So I just joined Permika to get closer to the students. And my mom has like friends and relatives here. So that's how I kind of like get into the Indonesian community as well. Tapi bukan yang student, maksudnya kayak ke orang-orang yang udah slightly older, people yang udah lama tinggal di sini kayak gitu. So socially, it worked really well. Maksudnya kayak I feel like I have a community here, which is great. But one thing that didn't measure up to my expectation was the weather.
Yeah.
Like it's so unpredictable. I hate it. But today.
Past few days.
I know. For context, if people hearing this doesn't know, like a couple of days ago, it was really nice, 13 degrees outside, and then it's like -5 again yesterday.
Exactly.
And it started snowing and everything. Yeah, it's insane.
I think it's gonna be -17 this week.
Thursday, I know. Yeah.
So.
You really have to like check the weather app every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can sympathize Hasna with like Indo curriculum, because I also did like national curriculum. So coming here, like I'm in physics, and then I forgot the word for scale and for subtraction, and like in front of my prof.
Oh Oh, no. Oh my god.
I'm like, what do you do when you take something out of something? And they're like, subtraction. But
Let me ask you a question.
but yeah,
Yeah.
you talk about weather also.
Yeah,
It's
weather.
very different from Indo, right?
Very. It's much harder to live. Yeah, like in Indo, you either get rain or hot, and I feel like we have to rely on our ACs a lot. Like in Indonesia. But here, you have to switch on heater, AC very constantly because you don't know what the weather is gonna be like.
Yeah. There was a funny story. So my parents visited Canada, right? And I was like, so we've always, because we live in a tropical country, we've
Yeah.
always conceptualized aircon as like something that blasts cold air.
Yeah.
But I hear aircon is like cold and hot
Hot
air.
Yeah.
air,
And my mom's like, I know, I was telling to my mom, oh, they're like blasting the aircon. I don't know, I just use it like substitutable as like almost that interchangeable words, like aircon/heater. They're blasting the aircon, and then she's like, aircon, it's cold here. We're like, why would you blast the aircon? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, they're like controlling the heater. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's just a funny story, but I got reminded of that. Yeah.
The weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's one of the very many differences we have from Indo here. Like aircon can mean hot and cold air.
Exactly.
Do you think there's any like really big differences also here? Like you meet people you don't meet in Indo
Yeah,
here.
that's
right?
true. Yeah.
Like, do you have any thoughts about that? Who do you think is someone you would never have met in Indo that you met here?
I can speak about this as well. So I have a friend group here in Toronto. Like the way we all got together. So basically, it's like a mix of Southeast Asian people. It's like me, Indonesian, and then I have my Malaysian friend, my Bruneian friend.
It's
my
a whole
Singaporean.
ASEAN council.
And we would joke around about it. We're like, how did we come to be? So it was very funny because like in high school, I didn't really have like a friend group. So like it was just like me. I mean like I don't really think I fit in any friend group, but I do have like really close friends, right?
Yeah.
So coming to university, I kind of like try to set a realistic expectation about my social life. I'm like, okay, you cannot expect to find people who are gonna be like your, I guess like you would say like your best friends. You always like go in groups and stuff like that because everyone has their own like things to do in university, right? But so I just came here kind of like, okay, if I met someone, and I feel like, okay, I can connect with them on certain things, kayak, maksudnya, I guess like I tried to, not, gimana ya, kayak, be quote-unquote selective, as in like, how does this person kayak bring value to my life and how I can bring value to their life as well, right? So I have friends for different things, kayak, friends for studying, they're friends you can hang out with and kind of like that. And I think having that realistic expectation that, you're not going to have like one specific friend group that you're going to stick with until like the end of university kind of like gives me a sense of relief, as in like, it's okay, like you still have people around you, you still have your community around you. And yeah, I think like how my friend group came to be was just like me and then my other Indo friend, and we're kind of like, let's take that, remember we met that like Singaporean friend, let's just take him to like one of the tanta's houses lunch because we visited like a tante here. Ayo kita ajak dia makan, kayaknya dia juga suka deh makan Indonesia. So like let's bring him in, and then he's like, can I bring my friend? So it's just like that, and then we kind of just hang out, and it's at the end of the day your social life will fall into place gitu. Okay, I think coming abroad, you're kind of like, oh my god, who am I gonna be friend with? Because like you're alone and you're just coming to like a new place and you're hoping to find a community. It will all fall into place. But yeah, I think Arvin maybe.
Yeah. I really agree with like Hasna's point on like quote unquote like selectively like choosing friends, because it is an important part, because although like you may be a lone wolf in university, you can't be alone for all the time, because there's some instances where you need help from certain people to do a certain thing, right? And I kind of relate Hasna with that. I kind of relate with Hasna about that, because like I have different friend groups. Like I don't associate myself with like strictly to one, but then like there are times where I associate with one friend group more than the other. But most of the times, like I do enjoy my own company as well. Like sometimes I'm fine with being alone, just studying by myself. Like I don't find anything wrong with that. And after moving to Toronto, I feel like that is what actually like grew is in my interest for like socializing and meeting new people. That's something that I didn't know it was in me. Like for example, right now I'm living with 3 other like Indonesian Indians as well. Shout out Fiza, Bedang, and Drew.
Plug in the
Yeah.
Instagram.
But yeah, like
Instagram handle.
like the way we met was very natural, and I never expected them to be my close friends. Like one day, like they came to Mississauga to eat sambal tio
Oh,
in
I
Square
should
One.
go.
You should, it's really good.
Yeah, so then they cause like
Shout out to Moto. If you want to sponsor the next episode,
Yeah,
maybe.
I can give you a shout out. But yeah, like it was in first year, and I was currently in the dorms in Mississauga, and Fiza and Vedang, they came down to Mississauga to Square One so they can eat with me, and then we just connected and we talked for like 4 or 5 hours, and then after that, as a return, I went downtown and they showed me their favorite Indian restaurants, and it's like a sort of like a small cultural exchange as well.
Yeah.
So then fast forward like 4 months, and now we're living together. So you never know what might happen, and then it's really amazing how like this city is so diverse, and there's so like even though you guys are in, for example, you meet other people that, for example, like lived in Indonesia, but maybe they're ethnically somewhere else. Like, you know, maybe they live like a few days ago. There was a networking event, and like I met someone that was from Taiwan, but then they lived in Indonesia all their life. But then they really associate with Indonesian culture, and it's amazing to see that in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy and proud to be part of that.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly jump in on Fiza, Vedang, and Arvin and Drew. They're absolutely hilarious. I was studying econ with them during first year. They're so hilarious.
I remember that.
Yeah, actually, you know, like Fiza and Vedang were like, "How are you so stupid, Drew?" And afterwards, like, yeah, it was just like
Our
really
dynamic
funny.
is weird.
Yeah, your dynamic is just so funny. It's hilarious. It's like watching a comedy show, literally.
Well, I'm very thankful for all the people I've met so far, and hopefully I have 2 more years left here, and hopefully I hope to meet a lot more people.
You better make the most out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Udah jauh-jauh kan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cannot go
You've
back
been here.
Exactly.
with nothing.
Very good point, Adam.
But yeah, so you have your friend groups, but you also are in Permika, right?
Yes.
Is Permika one of your friend groups, like an XX?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I would say it is. Yeah.
The hesitation right there.
We are, because we have meetings. We have meetings
Yeah,
every
yeah.
week.
In-person council meetings.
In-person council meetings, and usually
In person?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, recently because of the weather, for the past 2 weeks, we've been holding it
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
But then, like usually, like after the council meetings, we go out for lunch together. Like that one time, we went to
We went to
Salad King. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
as a whole council, it was really fun.
Salad King have like a student discount.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah. They
Also,
do.
Salad King
Yeah.
sponsor if you want.
Anyone, please.
A weekday, I think,
Weekdays to
until like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
You get like a student discount. It's really good. Recommended Thai fried rice,
Ooh.
chicken and shrimp. If you're allergic, just take out the shrimp.
Okay, but let's take a step back because we
Yeah.
talk about Permika, and
Yeah.
some people might not already know what Permika is. So, does someone want to say what the because Permika is like singkatan, right? So, what is Permika?
I think this is a Miss President question.
Permika is Persatuan Mahasiswa Indonesia di Kanada, and then Toronto. The To is like Toronto. Jadi basically Permika itu there are like many Permika chapters in Canada. There are one in Toronto, Winnipeg, Montreal, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Okanagan. I think I might be missing something, but I think
Wow,
there.
she's on top.
But yeah, there and under like Permika, these Permika chapters is under Permika Nasional,
Nasional.
which is like basically the umbrella, I guess, organization that kind of like provides resources for Permika as well, helping us out with outreach and events and initiatives on a Canada-wide scale. So yeah, I guess that's the general gist of what Permika is. We organize events and initiatives for Indonesian students in our specific localities. Kan kalau di Toronto, in the Greater Toronto area, you hold events and initiatives that help student adjust with like academic and social life here in Canada. And I think especially so our role is significant in kind of like the early years of studies, because like when you move forward with your undergrad and like your third or fourth year, maybe you already have your own community. We kind of provide this space. We kind of just provide the space for like those interactions, so that you know it's easier for you to adjust your life here. So yeah, I guess that's the general gist of it. Maybe Arvin has more to say about that too.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really enjoy about Permika, especially after the whole lockdown situation last year, is now we're able to hold in-person events, like in-person educational events and just social events, and it's really been a hub for where Indonesians can connect with each other and discover new things and new communities. For example, like they can relate with people of same interests. And I've heard many stories of how people became like friends because they joined one of our events through Permika. So it's a really good thing that will continue to be part of, and me and Hasna, we're going to try our best this year, maybe the following years as well, to continue to nurture this community.
Yeah.
Because from what we know, I feel like there's so much potential with the Indonesian community in Toronto and in the GTA in general, and I'm very excited to bring this forward. Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about students in Toronto. So does anyone who is a student in Toronto is part of Permika? Like, if you're Indonesian and you're a student, are you part of Permika? Can you come in?
Basically, yeah, our membership extends to all Indonesian students in the GTA. But most of our events actually have been attended by a lot of non-Indonesians as well, right? So we're really open for that kind of like inclusive community. I feel like one of the things that exclusively for Indonesian students, I guess, like it's kind of like accessing services to KJRI as well, right? Because we have like connections with KJRI. Jadi kalau kita mau bantu students with anything that's pertaining with, you know, like contacting the government here, I guess like the Indonesian government here, we're here to help them as well, gitu loh. But in terms of like events, resources, initiatives, we are open to everyone. But all Indonesian students in the GTA is part of Permika, basically. So they can attend our events, initiatives. We also hold collaborations with Indonesian student associations here in the GTA, just to make sure that we're in tune with like what's happening in the community and specifically in the campuses. Because like technically like we are a big organization, like as in like we also house like Indonesian student associations as well. So that's why like it's important to keep like contact with, like keep track of our communication with the Indonesian student associations respectively, just to make sure that like we can serve like the smaller student community in these campuses.
Yeah. If you're not Indonesian and you want to come to Permika events, they're wonderful.
Yeah, like there's been many students. Like we usually bring some of our other campus friends that are not Indonesians to our events, and they've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And if you're Indonesian and never been to Permika events, try one.
What have you been doing? Better come to Permika. It's either what's the saying? Well, it's like be there or be square. Yes. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of these talks about events, what are your favorite events of this year that you guys, because you guys are the president and vice president for 2022-2023, right? So what are the events that you most like throughout this year that you've done?
I bet this question is gonna be so hard.
So since this year, like we've held quite a lot of events. We held large scale events, but also some smaller scale events as well. But I think my favorite has to be the board game night, where we held that near Young and Dundas Square in a cafe called Twilight Cafe. Yeah, and the turnout was good, the atmosphere was good. We got to eat good food, play a lot of board games, socialize, and people really enjoyed it. And it was such a good time because I think it was a time when there's not that many exams. I think people just finished it was right before exams, so it was like a de-stressful event. So it was really nice to let loose right before exams start, and that has to be my favorite event. How about you, Hasna?
No, it was a great night. I feel like karena kan most of our events have always been at KJRI, so it was like a refreshing kind of like, let's go outside
different space.
of KJRI, let's go somewhere else, which is not too far from KJRI actually.
That's not too far.
So we're like, we're circling around that same area, but It was nice. It was great to have a lot of people coming in. We actually had like, I mean, maksudnya kayak senang aja gitu ngeliat everyone's just like enjoying their time.
Exactly.
There. But yeah, I guess like that's one of the most fun events that we've organized so far. Yeah.
What about you, Belinda? What's your favorite PERMIKATO event?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be exposed right now and say that I don't really go to PERMIKATO
Belinda!
This is a sign.
This is a sign you should go or you'll be square.
Yeah.
I thought I've not seen Adeline's face in a while too.
Yeah. I mean, I did. Okay, to be fair, I did go to Warung Indonesia last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to
the
Woi.
Halloween event. Yeah, where are you, Belinda?
I went to Woi in my first
Yeah,
year.
Woi.
If
Okay.
people don't know,
Belinda, what year are you in?
I'm in fourth year. Yeah, that means I haven't been in 3 years, but yep. I should go.
One
So
more
bad.
right before you graduate. Just one more event.
Oh yeah, talking about that, before I graduate, which is the end of this year,
Yeah.
what events do you have? What event could I go to?
We actually have a networking event
Yeah, we
coming up
have
Oh,
on
a
March
fun.
3rd. Well, I mean, this podcast probably released after that. But I mean, like we have a networking event this term, and other than that, we are also currently opening later we'll announce it officially on our Instagram. But we're trying to expand our outreach to like new incoming students. So we're releasing like a incoming undergraduate student form.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically,
You heard it here first, folks.
yeah, so incoming student form. So basically, it's just to data who's gonna come here, and then we're gonna masukin these people to our group chat just to keep them updated about what's happening in Toronto, what we can provide for them as new students, kayak gitu. So we're starting our outreach to new students now. We're gonna announce it formally on our Instagram.
Oh yeah, I remember that because I think in my first year when I was incoming, the link to the WhatsApp chat spreads like a virus, and that like I have the link and then I send it to my friend that I know, and then they send it to others, and it's just like so funny. But yeah, it's good that you have this like official quote unquote way of getting people into the group chat and having them know what's going on.
Yeah, and I think there should be one more social event closing the year.
Yes, right before, I think right after the school year ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably a picnic or
Oh.
some sort.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the end of,
Oh.
like a end of a semester picnic and event where we can celebrate all our achievements and accomplishments this school year.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully that was currently in the works, and we'll announce that very soon, hopefully.
So we've talked a lot about the fun side of things, right? The events, what you enjoy about them. How did all of these behind the scenes go? Because I'm sure it's stressful. I've had to organize events too, and I know the stress of it all.
It's a mess.
But yeah, for like organizing events.
Yeah, or like just the general, like how do you do Permika? Because U of T and all the universities here is already so stressful.
Yeah, it's true.
And you have all of these other stresses also.
Yeah, like, so how do you balance all of that out, you know, like with your academics, your roles in Permika, and your other commitments? Yeah.
I think for like Permika wise, like at the beginning of the year, me and Hasna, like when she got elected as a president, she had a vision of how we want to operate Permika and how we want it to be more like organized. So we already established that we want to make like a year plan and already have something in place for the rest of the year, so then we know what to look for and like what specific dates should we like prepare for. And I think that really helped because after our recruitment and after the initial meetings and making the entire structure of Permika, we're able to like hold events that we actually promised, right? Like we have not, I don't think we have like canceled an event yet. Like we've somehow at least reiterate the event or just change the date. So that's really good. And one thing that I feel like I think that what really helped was like making a plan really helped, and holding constant meetings, being able to like properly delegate internally, and also being able to communicate effectively, because that is really important, because we need to make sure that all pieces of the puzzle like are matching, so that we can actually make these events. And at the end of the day, we want the people to enjoy we want people to enjoy our events, like even though if we have to go through all the stress.
Yeah, I think like in Permika we have structures to like organizing an event. So basically, we make sure that you have the proposal, make sure that you communicate all of the things that you need to like each respective team. So like for example, our events team, once they have like a finalized plan for their event, we would tell them to like submit a graphics form to like the communications team and design team, so that they can like start working on the design, get it posted, when is it going to get posted, and all of that details, make sure like all of that is passed to the comms team, and then get it released, get people sign up and stuff like that. So basically the focus at the beginning of the year was trying to make sure that we have a structured approach to the organization. You know, sometimes we're very flexible about it as well. We're not like very rigid, like, oh my god, like 6 weeks before the event you need to have the proposal or something like that. That was our initial plan, right? We want to have that kind of like structured, but then it kind of like, you know, we're students, right? We don't always have time to work on something like on time is finished right then. It's like we have academic stuff that we have to prioritize as well. So that's why we're very flexible about it. But the good thing I think within Parmika is that we like people do their stuff, like each team does their stuff respectively, and we kind of maintain a transparent communication in terms of like how we communicate in terms of organizing. There were times when like communications are a bit off, because you know it used to be a bit more like team focused meetings and not like to the entire council. But the good thing about our event, we have a research and development division. Shout out to Joey. He always makes sure to like post like evaluation forms. So after every event we evaluate, and we would go to like our in-person council meeting and actually talk about the feedback
as a whole council.
A whole council. And we also have like internal team evaluations. So like how has like the teamwork been going on for the past term and stuff like that. So we make sure that even if we do have like hurdles along the way, we make sure that we talk through it together, instead of just, you know, like people holding grudges against each other or something like that. Like we just openly put it on the table. And another thing I wanted to add was that the good thing about Permika as well, even though we do our stuff like respectively for each team, we're also very willing to help each other out, right? Like we don't kind of like, oh, that's not my job, like, we're not going to do that. Like we just offer help with each other, which is really nice, because like sometimes it can get overwhelming, right, with like exams and stuff like that. But having that, like making sure that your team member is like catered to when they're super busy is really important. And I think what I really appreciate from my team is that everyone's kind of a helping hand, like oh, I can help with this, don't worry about it, and you know so it's been great. The team dynamic's been great so far.
There's a lot of thought put into like the organization of PERMIKATO. Like I didn't really know about the intricacies behind all of this.
I know.
You mentioned this.
I didn't even know you have a research and development.
That's actually been very helpful throughout the whole semester. To be honest with you.
What's it called? Like the internal evaluations you guys have? Like I didn't know that you guys had that in PERMIKATO, which I think is actually pretty good that you have that in place, so that like you can always constantly be improving and progressing while working on what you already have. So,
exactly. Yeah.
So it sounds like you have this year's structure well in hand. It's honestly really good.
Hopefully.
2 more months.
So what do you hope for next year's Permika?
Hopefully next year's Permika, like I mean we don't
hopefully
know who's gonna be in charge of it.
Hopefully they don't like just kick out all of your hard work.
But what I do hope is that they'll continue to like nurture the community. I feel like one of the most important jobs of Permika is to serve the Indonesian community by doing their job, which is to like make sure they're well facilitated and make sure any information, any news, or just make sure they're properly informed about everything related Indonesian wise. And I think if I can be in charge of it next year, I would really love to. Like not even be in charge, but be part of it as well. Like I love Permika. I just love the responsibility of being assigned to help grow this community, because from what I know, I feel like there's gonna be more people coming to Toronto, more Indonesians coming to Toronto next year and the years coming, and I really want to be part of like this movement, this community, this growing community.
Yeah. My hopes for Permika next year. I feel like, yeah, as more people come, or as more Indonesian people come to Toronto, there's a bigger expectation from Permika to like serve the community better, right? So I'm hoping that I guess like throughout the term, which is like our term is ending in 2 months, right? So we're kind of like, I've been looking back a lot and revisit kind of like the commitments that I make, the vision and mission that I presented to everyone. There were certain things that I wish I could have done better, honestly. And we could have done better, actually. Sorry. But yeah, I guess like I'm hoping that priorities for the upcoming Permika Toronto team would be, I guess, like making sure that like people feel included in the community. I guess that's like the priority the whole time. But I guess, and another thing would be to bridge more collaborations with Indonesian student associations. So far we did have one, right? Like in the beginning of the year, which is the welcoming party. We also recently had one with the TMU
ISA.
The Toronto.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's actually okay. Intermezzo, but like we got free rendang, right?
Free rendang.
Like there was an attendee who came to the event and was like, "I'm gonna bring rendang for you guys if that's okay."
I got
and
2
like,
portions. Because no one would want to take it, so like, okay, I'll take it.
And then she's like, "I'm gonna bring like rendang to the event." I was like, whoa, like she literally brought like a box of rendang.
Exactly.
And then she just distributed to everyone. And I was like, wow.
That's so
And we had hot
Yeah,
chocolate in the
we had
event, we had
chocolate,
patties, and there was people giving out free milk in the event.
Yeah.
There's a Fairlife people in the...
in the bag.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Where was I in this conversation? Bridging more collaborations with Indonesian student associations in the future. I think, note for next year's Permika, I really do think that we should have...
It's fine. Keep continuing.
Okay. I really feel like next Permika we should have an Indonesian festival, kind of like like Permika Vancouver's one. If you guys,
I think I saw that.
Like it's called Fiesta.
Yeah.
Fiesta.
Oh yeah, I know.
Where you like rent a venue around campus and you collaborate with DSAs and then you just put in like a cultural night for Indonesians. I think we don't have that kind of event this term. So maybe like in the future years that could be an idea that the team can explore.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really fun. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time and all of your hopes and dreams for Permika.
Thank you for inviting us.
Also, thank you so much for all of your hard work in Permika. I know I'm exposed that I've never been to anything this term. But nevertheless, thank you very much for all of that.
Yeah, so before we end off, we just want to do a small segment on 5 pieces of advice you would give to incoming...
5 pieces?
5.
5 pieces of
In total
advice.
or from each?
Sure, in total is fine.
Okay.
First piece of advice is that struggling is okay. Like people, especially if you're going to be an international student studying abroad here, facing difficulties, whether if it's in school, in life, in social life, I think that's it's normal. Like you're in a completely new environment, new people, new weather, like new conditions. So it's normal that you need time to adapt, and that those times might be rough, but just know that with the right people and with you being able to stand up for yourself, that'll get you through the hard times.
Yeah. I always tell myself, like, one day you will find your pace and everything will fall into place.
Exactly.
Another piece of advice I want to say is you're the only company you have. And
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that like when you move abroad, you have to feel comfortable with yourself.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
accepting the fact that you will like you have people around you, but you won't always feel like you're with everyone, right? I think it's important to feel comfortable with yourself, to feel like confident in yourself as well. Like you've come this far, like try all the opportunities that you have around
Exactly.
you. Meet as much people as you can. Like don't hold back on certain things, but also feel comfortable in yourself, you know? Like don't feel like, oh my god, I have to be continuously surrounded by people and all of that. Like just make sure that you feel like you're okay being on your own as well. This is second advice. Third advice.
I think third advice is there's always room to grow, and growth always happens when you're outside your comfort zone. I feel like being a student at U of T, I've been academically challenged, and there are times where I actually have to study harder than I've never before, where it actually worked. Like I got a good grade because of that, and I really had to step out of my comfort zone. Like I had to study in different ways, study with different methods, but also outside of academics, for example. Like I'm very active in athletics as well. I actually had to apply the same mindset. I have to be step on my comfort zone, like waking up 7 a.m. to use the gym and to practice with my teammates, so then I can actually better myself and hopefully for the team as well. So that mindset of stepping out of your comfort zone and growing because of that applies to everything, like not just school.
Fourth piece of advice.
Fourth piece. I can go. Sometimes the most valuable friendships come when you're least expecting them.
That is true.
Yeah. So just I think like when you meet people, come with the mindset that what can you learn from them today, and how can they add value to your life, and how you can add value to their life, you know? I think I'm not saying like there needs to be a reason why you guys are friends or whatever. Because my friend group is just kind of like us getting together, and we're kind of like, oh, well, we vibe, so like let's all hang out more often, right? But it's always important to keep people who add positive meaning to your life. That's like the most important thing, I think. Surround yourself with people who can make you grow as a person. Yeah, that's important.
The last
Last
piece
one.
of advice.
Last piece of advice.
Why don't it come from you guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I can go.
Yeah, Belinda can go and I can go next.
Oh, my piece of advice as the oldest person here and the
Yeah.
one who's been through.
The wisest.
No, is that you do have to try and you have to work for it. Because, yeah, like being here on your own, I came here, none of my high school friends are here. I have no family here. And even my grandparents are like, why are you going there so far away? But it's because there's something here that I want, and I think you need to understand what do you want by being here that
I
can
completely
make
agree.
you go through this 4 years of like snow and wind and like loneliness. So just keep in mind, what do you want and why are you here? And that can fuel you through this like hardship.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
How about you, Adeline?
Yeah, my piece of advice, like I think at the core of all of this, the number one like advice that I have is you need to learn how to be disciplined, and that is insanely
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be disciplined coming from someone who's like super disorganized, messy, and like chaotic. Being disciplined is so hard, but then you really don't have a choice, but you have to really cultivate that when you're here, because nobody's gonna tell you to.
That is true.
Yeah, there's no parents
Like
doing
that.
anything,
Yeah, there's
right?
nobody here to depend on besides yourself.
Right.
So like when Hasna was talking about being like comfortable in yourself, that really spoke to me, because for quite some time, like I wasn't comfortable with being on my own. I kind of had to seek validation from other people, but then I had to think about like, okay, I need to be disciplined with myself. As much as I would like to hang out with other people and like feel validated by other people, I need to learn how to be secure on my own and be disciplined to the commitments that I've got, right? Like academics is just a bigger priority than like other
Yeah,
things.
like you're already here. You're already here so far.
That would be my advice, honestly.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be disciplined. I'm still working on it right now, but yeah, that would be my number one piece of advice is to be disciplined, yeah.
Okay, so that is all from us for today. Thank you again to Hasna and Arvin. Thank you for being here.
inviting us.
And thank you for listening to all of you. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.